unongalanga semlanjeni.
Molweni bantu abahle, igama lam ndinguvuyiseka Maguga, also known as We Love Child, and these are Ekhaya conversations right here on Ekhaya sessions. Today I bring you a Jesus lookalike. I think if we were, there was this other movie I once watched. I think it is Heaven for Real.
Yeah.
So Payana, towards the end, I think they speak about this little girl eyabona uYesu in vision, and it's not the person that is imbonating. So yena wamzoba and dog.
Stop this.
Ufana nawe nyanyani. If uYesu unothi ngok, he definitely look like this guy. Langoma ethi xa ethe wabonakala thina sofana na
Yeah, I think everyone looks like it.
Is it?
Yeah.
Siyabonga.
Yeah.
Igama lakhe nguTibo Pro. Ngibona igama lakho lokweni mfuni.
Tobela.
Tobela is the name?
My surname is Gosani. Abantu abaninzi banazi ngosomawonga because esikolweni ndifunde kakhulu ngosomawonga, but ndasebenzifana umama wami ke uGosani because I didn't Gosani. Yeah, so ngithobela igama ifane ngugosani.
And then Tibo Pro, how did you come with Tibo Pro?
Tibo Pro, uvele, I had a lot of nicknames when they called, but because I was given by people most of the time.
Yeah.
So Tibo Pro uvele ndifunde Aaron Qado. Yeah, so there was a time Dandi Lena leader, head boy Lena leader, before me head boy Dandi Lena leader was, so they started calling me professor because they were like Katendo Zamtet young like school. So that was not a cool nickname. His case obviously. So it was a way of showing me when yes dalali.
Yeah.
But yeah, as in the ambit clash, there was a time we had a show. I think it's but they wanted someone like to rap, so I was like, okay, I started doing that. But that time I was like, I found a rapper. They were like, and they were like, Tipo. So my boy was like, hey, I professor lomdeo. So then it went from that to Tipo, aka Professor Sangeno, aka that time.
Yeah.
So Tipo, aka Professor. But as it was like, yeah, this is too long, man. So I was like, okay, cool. I don't know what I was doing. I think I was doing a freestyle or something, but then I said, okay, Tibo the Pro now. I'm not going to be Tibo aka Prof, which is a long thing.
Yeah.
So, Kale Abang Tibo the Pro, like, when I had to take Professor from Pro to Professor, and then I was like, Tibo still remains as my name. So,
wow.
Tibo the Pro.
Great. So, tell me about your childhood. Utubufune Aaron Qado. Aaron Qado is here, so.
Yeah.
Uthetha ngemasibambane. Stand at 6.
No.
Grade 8. Damenzela khona. So yeah.
Now, I've been around can't get
yeah.
Like I've been going to school here and say that at some point. I think the cool little shop, like I don't go to so I would be at places but people would notice me at times.
Okay.
Like, because the kulele the salam okay ngala essays mama mwahlala says. Then when I was like around 11, there's like old dick that I'm telling my Soweto. So but my dad was was a cool guy, yo. So I was like, yeah, I'm not later. Then so I moved to live with my dad. But it was more than so old and then I found a boy. So
wow.
Then I ended up planning that Pagama only went. I don't even think they remember me there because
Iphakama yayiphela. I think yayiphela ku-2.
Yeah, so I only went there for grade 4.
Yeah.
Then from there and then Aaron Qado. So I think most of my years like Aaron Qado. That's when I got even to play because the time I'm from soccer, so it was more of it said as so no one would know soccer until we match. So that's what was happening. So yeah. Then then from Aaron Qado and then I went to Eloiso ke
okay.
Eloiso is with so ndikhule nhlala lapha eSoweto base ngasesalamd. Yeah, even though people don't know.
Like I can't believe it.
Man, even people baseSoweto bakhona abantu banganaziyo until mhlawumbe ndibone lo ndawo okanye bane mhlawumbe okay uphi yabo because nakwisoka erenam people would like hey wena ngomculo because that's when I was already rapping that time ngiqala udlala mhlawumbe ngiyodlala ke uNaseren but the time I'm always wanting me to play golf. So bensazwa ngegolf so even though ngidlala soccer xa nisesikolweni.
Lo mjidi.
Yeah, no. So I had this sticker like on a Saturday morning, on a Sundays I would go and take the stickers and then I'm not golf phezani ngasemanzini ngase apha ngase foot.
Yeah.
So I would have like mhlamba amanye amajita akakhoyo that time would know because mhlamba ndibethe and then we start betting okay can I reach in our tea state one because normally my dad used to teach me how to play golf. So yeah.
This
I'm
guy.
that dude.
Yeah. Oh, Chebil. Talking about your dad, because the relationship, bimnandi, right?
Yeah, I think it was more of I'm not saying people were not lucky, but I was just one of the lucky people that I've had access to my dad, like I've seen a lot of like amaqala akhe onke ezinto ngitata because endlini when I moved with him wayehlala nomfazi wakhe ne, which is my stepmom when I moved in. So wahlukana naye then ndahlala naye, so it's like xesha lami elininzi mhlawumbe utata mqha endlini.
Oh, wow.
So that's when I even had to learn how to cook, how to do certain things, how to clean. Yeah, well, and I knew by if into ethina ndiyenza hanga it's not even about uba mhlawumbe izashuba ne, but I know if andiphekanga laa mntu afika bahambe ndityile apha endlini nalaa. So I had to grow up and like but it was a nice like experience because each of them didn't get to experience certain things that I did. As much as Nama didn't get to experience one that they experienced one. Yeah, but I was okay, man. Like we hustled. My dad, the thing is, kind of cool with everything engine. Yeah, well, so as much as people would think because in Kulantan I had everything, like I had access to everything and but the timing I wouldn't say it was bad, but I think it was a godly way of me being there because I think he needed me as much as I needed him at the moment because we're cool and then I had to now adjust to certain things. And then even with Imali, I didn't get to be those kids born Flamba Nike and I didn't get those. I only got a chance to buy Nike when I started working. I only got to wear Reebok when I started, like all the stuff that kids would be excited about. But I had to learn to adjust to, even though I was back on a pendulum, I can't be going around looking for
it.
In totally coy.
Yo.
If you then it's fine.
Snap.
So I like those things. They coolies.
Definitely.
As much as at that moment, when you're going through the process, you're like, hey, as a show, man. And then go for no good because in Kulele is so wet. So
zonke izinto.
Yeah, like and then that's how they get to have Mali born. And then when you're like, okay, cool, but I'm not cut out for it, so I would just know even namanje amaninzi mhlawumbe enikhule nhlala nawo kanye mhlawumbe benzinto ezirong benhlala nawo sinokole, but they know because they respect me and I respect them as much because if umuntu wenza into yakhe nami nenza into yami and then I don't believe in what you're doing, but it doesn't necessarily mean mhlawumbe asizovana. It's like when you party Chiefs but we can still sit together. Yeah, so I had to learn a lot of stuff like besides even ubasendlini bengihlala endlini ixesha elinzi, but I would go out mhlawumbe manje mhlawumbe by hour 2-3 minutes and then if I say okay no then I'll pass. So that because now you are a first time dad. So how is that experience? I know because a lot of it, like now you've tapped into, you've seen his side that I'm sure probably a lot of people abangalaziyo. When it comes to
you've seen him strong, you've seen him weak, and like as a father now to a baby girl, like what I don't know, man. Social media makes us sitting a fan bar. Everything is glamorous.
Yeah, it's always the case.
And no one speaks about the challenges. You find just one post out of 100 is out about the challenges of being a parent. So like, tell me, talk to me about that, also, what are some of the lessons that when you've learned as a son that you think you're gonna pass them to your daughter?
It's a broad conversation and this is big. Okay, what I would say is because in the couldn't I've got to learn a lot of things and then he went like the ups and downs that I had to deal with made me grow, even though I was not aware at that time that I'm growing. But your mind develop all these things because you're going through this. And then even though sometimes you would block certain things can be, you go through them mostly with indlela mhlambe esikhulunywa ngayo, whereby kuthiwa bana singabantu bangodada, so you're supposed to be strong. And then now you can't be weak. Yeah, and then now sikhula kwixesha whereby now we get to see and watch even nase-TV nasentondoni. So we are privileged enough to know and understand ezinye izinto without us experiencing ezinye izinto. When umnandiyazi bana I'm gonna be utata, I think when you start hearing that, and your mind like goes up and down, because now you're believing it. Yeah, it's a Wednesday, but at the very same time it's not real because I can say, but it's coming. Yeah. So it was there, and bear in mind, we're living in a siphila kulizwe whereby abantu abaninzi abangotata kanye abantwana abaninzi bakhuliswa phandle kodwa kanye phandle komama. It's either one is like ukhona omnyakeko, of which nama grow up on that.
Yes.
Because I think that's one of the reasons why it took me a long time from mhlambi, I would say, because senimdala, and I know a lot of youngings abantwana before umna. So umna always had that thing about, I don't want to be one of those, like experiences and one mhlambi. Now umdana kupayana, when you hear now it feels like it was battery account because you're only putting money in, and then now umboni, and then umdana needs more than that, because it's not really about money. So it took me a while to adjust. Okay, this is happening, and then I need to be responsible, obviously. And then when umdana mezalo, I think that's when I got to the realization of, okay, now I'm done. When I saw like, nan's the picture, man, then that goes through, okay, you know what you need to do right now. You need to ngokhula ngoku. And mostly with the situation yami yobana umna ndikhule ningezane, even if I had umakhulu khange ndibe close now, like to mhlambi I can always take my responsibility to another person. Because when I had to learn also that as a man you need to take your responsibility of whatever actions that you So I didn't have those like relatives of, okay, sometimes then I'm cool, like whatever. So, and then secondly, my most, I think the most challenge that most special challenge we go with, like it's understanding that umdana nje engumama umdana lo ngaphayana, the other party, when you need to just work with yena to make sure ugrena umdana. But there are certain things that ingqondo yakho doesn't want to allow, even though you have no control over zona when. So now you need to teach yourself, okay, if ukwenza ngolu hlobo, this is out of my control, out of my reach. I'm not supposed to be stressing about this and that, because I'm going to lose the focus, which is the main focus in doing, is to raise umdana. So it's not an easy thing, man. And you bear in mind, that when you are with at that moment, that doesn't want to understand even the whole idea of you making ways that you grind along. But I will tell you this, and when I heard Banamdan, I knew about, okay, did. But until ndapanzo to you, and then that's when it got to my mind, Bana, if this was my last day, then I wouldn't I should just make sure I make every move that I'm planning to do before it's too late, because we're not guaranteed. Because that's when it hit me, Nobana. Then Kobo by that time, and then I got dropped up at New Brighton. So whatever that was happening in that time, but it made me realize, Bana, if that could have been the day and it didn't happen, and I know, Bana, I have a responsibility yomndo kulayo oligazlam, and that I'm supposed to take care of, then I might as well, whatever that I was doing any time that was distracting me that time, I need to take it out. If I'm not happy, I've learned that if I'm not happy, then I'm not supposed to be doing that. That means whatever that you in your life now at that moment, I was doing that time, if it was not bringing me enough happiness to say I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing, then I knew I was not doing what I'm supposed to be doing.
Ooh.
So that's when I started to go to down and Tengil, and then I started building up, because I knew, but if I'm not doing it for me, then I should do this for this person. So I think sometimes it's a like that's a conversation, and people can always have their own opinions, but for the umna, I think
Yeah,
in
mangohlobo.
ndikhule and nendlela endikhule ngayo has a lot to do with how I'm
Definitely,
reacting
yeah,
with izinto
definitely,
endidibana nazo. So for him na, as a person that was raised by mhlawumbe ngutata, I just knew bana I'm a taker, man. Yeah. And then it doesn't matter what the other dude is doing, the other one is doing. And then sometimes even, it's not even sometimes as but the other person sometimes is not willing to understand certain things. The other person not willing to work with you to make sure lendi grand. They just short-sighted on seeing the new when.
Yeah.
But when what did you do? Because the girls are talking, okay, yeah, you knew, but when I was in it's like the same cases still on every day. But people won't say bana ebedla ngomthi naye. People are gonna say when I was in so you did this one. So at the end of the day, it's about you and what you did.
Yeah. So what are the what are some of the stuff that you've learned when that you know, okay, these are the lessons that I wanna teach my daughter?
Hey, Umdanam should know that ndingumntu, yabo. And that she should know that akho perfect.
Yo.
And that runs as deep as bana. Sometimes we end up to like now that we never planned on being. So as much as you can say I'm doing everything for Yena, the most thing that she should know, I have love for Yena. And love is not something that I can just take and then buy from someone and that's it.
It comes
But
organically.
she needs to feel, she needs to see it, she needs to understand that whatever action that I'm taking, I will always got her back.
Yeah, but love is a noun or a verb, whatever it is. But utando is shown in actions, not in just words.
And we need to love these kids, man.
Yo,
we need to love, and we need to make time, because sometimes I feel like as much as that I'm an ebesfana there are certain things that because of I didn't have to, like, I didn't get to have conversations ngazo because galoko I always have to remember that hey, I can't say this and that. As much as sometimes we can say things passingly, okay, but it's going into if we sat down about this, it could have been, beneficial, not just for Yena. So I think we just need to be open. Like for him now, I want to be that dad, Yobana. If there's this, and then also because we're seeing things on TV, we listen to the radio. Now these things are meant for massive to know and go through with Yeah, and we need to show love, not just but to each and every kid as a that sees you as someone they can look up to. Because you know what, most of the stuff that we messed up on I will tell you this. Masinhlambi for him nane. Ekasi ndiyacula bayana mhlawumbe utatipo uyacula utatipo uyaphangela. But that kid mepe koneni every day manje ngibona niphuma ngena. Mhlawumbe lesa and like dithenga imoto and then abo bayijonga yani banje ngutatipo. Abe yena utamabheka ngapha utshaya insango yakhe uyenza into zakhe uma phekone nalantwana every day. Now uthina abantu that are struggling to get things and that are hustling every day ane ngendlela right mandicho, we don't talk to these kids about things esamba kubona sidibana nazo. We don't tell these kids bana how many times we had to understand and enjoy pain, because when are you supposed to be making sure into zama indlela right. Abe na ngapha ubhuti banibani nje China pha ambemcala back say you can get this thing easy. You can get this thing ngendlela nje lula nje awunyazama ube uhlaxesha because bona bamamela bahlana nabantu. Those people are preaching that every day. It's like inkonzo ukuthiwa xa usiya qho because umamela intshumayelo, those things are reminding you of uqine whatever that situation okuyo. So thina because we don't talk to them, that means we asibenzi babe strong xa mhlambe efake i-CV yakhe engafiki unelanga for 6 months, that there's still a chance.
Now that
you
went through the same
they don't
thing.
know that. So I think mostly if we talk about mhlambi indlela okhulisa abantwana, kids need to know those stories. Like say we had to push. There was a time I didn't get this. I didn't get like this and that because being was good, no good. Until there was good and that. It took me umzelo always say they always say bana I'm doing this for abantwana bam because we can get it. But now we don't make sure that the kids understand the pressure, the way to get those things done. Now
I had a conversation, I think a while back, no, about like a year or 2 years ago, about the similar thing. That one thing that I think abazali abanemali bayayiposa, because yabona phe area ivenkile kwakho buy no mkhaza no chuma and stuff like that,
kids, I know.
and yabona utata buy round about this time wayeqesha itruck athathe wonke umuntu walapha ayoxhela inkomo endlini yakhe eBlue Water Bay, afike phayana kubona atyisa abantu, because utyisa abantu babasapotayo. And then when he passes away, akho mntu that's gonna carry on that legacy. So I think iphosakala apho ba you don't teach umntana
the next person to know how to get this done. This is how we do it.
And the struggles abona umntana bayo jonga. It's tough le way.
So all the stuff that mhlambi let's say if umntana mane I hustle and then I do make sure bana usenone mhlambi 10 it doesn't end there, but I can pay for this, I can pay for that. She needs to understand this and that. Iphume ngendlela enhlalo. And then akolula to get it. Same as now, but it's not going to be able to get
it.
And then there's new number also fumana but was phone. Sometimes game mhlambi they're not zinhle kuba sibone sicimba zinhle, but they're not good for us.
Sure.
So it's like you would think you're right for when, and then next thing you know, this thing is the one that is going to take you to the grave.
Oh my goodness.
But you thought it's the best thing you wanted in life now, and it's the best thing for you.
Yeah.
That's why you don't force the universe, man.
Man, you sound like you could be anything else.
Oh man.
Like you really sound like someone that could do like nobody that you put your mind to it. But why music?
Man.
Specifically hip hop. What triggered you to go that route? Because musitsho ba uqale at a very young age.
Yeah, I started like 14, 15, and then started recording though around 17.
Yo, I was nowhere
from there.
near.
Then I had an album 2009, and then an album. Then after that, I had a group out of TOT. Satellite, I think about 2 years, and then from then like that because I realized but it's not an easy thing to work with abantu sometimes you hear when I'm now you can't even get to perform certain songs so the reason why I fell in love with Mngolo, I think it's the way in Kulengai, and then the way music was then, like Iskwara camps and Dondon. I always felt like I can say more, like it's not enough for them, like what I'm saying. And then when you compare that to the R&B, you can have like 4 lines and then 8 lines could be a whole full song. So with hip hop, or like, hey man,
there's a lot that you can say. Because like whilst we when I started doing music, background yam is hip hop. Esikolweni ngokwakuthiwa ba andikwazi ucula. I focused on sport and academics, but umculo has always been into that that I love, So Ikwaito came in, kwafika Umshoza, Umzambia, Ozola, and I was no Msawa, and I was like, okay, this could be it. So and I thought to myself, okay, this is it. And then I was introduced to South African hip hop, or Amu, or Zabs, the last letter, or Proverb, obviously, Squatter Camp. And so my writing when I started ukungena emculweni, my writing has always been influenced by hip hop. So I'd write like a lot. And I remember there's this song Eti My Gentleman, and this one lady said to me, ba, the problem yakho is that ubhala kakhulu.
Yeah, you have a lot to
then
say.
like,
And then
I was like, but why is that a problem? Because there's no way I'm gonna tell a story this
Now you need
I
to
need to
shorten your stories and all
well,
that.
it's a pit gay, but I can't rap, but the type of sound that
You know
do.
how I knew that I can rap. When 50 Cent had it didn't get to should I trying I think then the cassette I had most of the music that I listened to and then couldn't because my dad used to listen to Mpaqanga. So
hence the type of sound.
So benhlin ngezela area bane Mpaqanga le. So opposite chemist like isixaxambiki mfazo mnyama I was listening to those. But I was so open to radio in such a way that if that I would listen to mhlambi radio stations and then I would listen to other music until I got a chance manting a cassette ka 50 Cent and no man was. Then I started started growing up growing in the man okay no man I can do this thing until someone sang ingoma 50 Cent eskolweni and then they didn't know the lyrics, so I was like man I know this, like then I started knowing that when someone said you can rap, it's when I sang ingoma 50 Cent, but because I'm 14, I would put my own lyrics. But it'll be a going on thing, okay. And then I said like, hey, no man, I can sound like I can do this. Get this parallel. So I started writing my own stuff. By verse 1, practicing. And then the most thing that sharpened me is cipher. You can't cipher ngoba se 4+.
Kudala ke ndava kuyo.
Yeah, iklandawe ngathi upstairs there's joining up up upstairs.
Kudala ndava kuyo khona nyisi.
Okay, anyway, you were not there.
You sound like me because now I had a fair share of being robbed, dog. Like it like there was a by minyaka mithathu ilandelana run about the same time.
But you know the good thing about me being robbed, I always get my shit back though.
Definitely, even better shit though.
Because I think that's one of the things that I think the phone I'm by 3.
But you got it back
all the time. I get it back all the time. And guess I was saying. Yeah, anyway, so we used to go there. I don't know, but I didn't Love Life Lalenduka. It had Love Life some sponsors, So it was one of the places that according to Kwizone Yamangona Jonga Lapa. Yeah, it's me. This is what I'm supposed to be doing. So we'd go there every Friday. Every Friday we'd go there. We just hang there, do freestyles, and so those things they make you grow, on your whatever skill. If it's like when they say practice makes you perfect.
Definitely.
So the more you do it, the more you feel like, hey, no man, I can do this better. Even when I write music now, I'll write a song today, a verse, and then I'll do it tomorrow. Then I do it again. Probably after 4 days, I'm comfortable. Then I get to learn. I don't have to say Elikam. I can change to Elikam because Elikam makes me sound better than Elagam. So you start replacing certain words. Then you start going with your flow, and then you start, I'm not good, I'm not good. So yeah. So it's like that's when I even got to understand, okay, no man, I can do this. But that takes you over. You don't just wake up no, you don't do it.
So when I first was introduced to you, it was obviously with the project Easy.
Easy, yeah.
But I've always known you, okay? Rap but I never.
And
that's the thing, cause and then you came here to Ekhaya sessions and then you were jam.
I was jamming with you guys.
And you had some few drinks. So it was okay. And then you came back.
I'm hooked on this thing.
I'm glad. So wapina wabuya and then wapina wajema, and I thought to myself, know what? Let me plan and bring this guy here.
We had to talk about it, I remember. Yeah. It's like, okay,
and bring this guy here. And then, the only time I get to listen to music kakle is when it's either ndididiyele ginger okanye ndiyahluza. So I'd put my phone phan, light sometimes and ndifake speaker and listen. So that's when I got to listen to your album, like your lyrical content, your flows, like the punchlines, and I'm like, this project, people are supposed to be talking about it even today. That's how good it is. And then I was like, okay, come through to Ekhaya sessions, and you killed it with a band. And then
the band.
Check this. Yabona ngeli xesha wawusiza Ekhaya session, I already had a list of people that are going to perform the festival, and you were not there.
Hey, by the grace of God, though.
But that performance, I was like, I need to have this guy on Ekhaya festival. So and then we had festival activation. Your performance was fire than your session. And then we had a festival, and your performance, like, you mirrored it.
You know what, Ine?
Listen, wait. And check this. I thought to myself, one of the most things that I love about you is that Lando Kutiwa, you are as good as your last performance. Meaning, your next performance, it has to be tops.
Yeah, you
like
upgrading.
Like every time, because I'm sure even if kunotua ngokuba we're doing something in Naunetile and you're performing, it's gonna be fire.
Different.
It's gonna be fire. It's gonna be different. Even if it's the same songs, but it's gonna be fire. I admire that about you. Like,
I'm grateful, man.
Dog. I don't know, man.
God's gift, man.
Yeah, and also not taking your gift for granted.
Yeah, that's the thing. You know, I will tell you. I think I've slept on myself for some time, and when you said, why I chose hip hop, I should have said this. Some things you can just quit easily. There are certain things that that you can't ignore. That you can go a year and say, I'm ignoring this thing. But there'll be a time it comes back to you and you can't anymore. So for Umna, like most with performances, I might not be a good speaker or a good person that you can always like. Most I've picked that up when I don't have a lot of rapper friends, only people when they see me on events, then they're comfortable to talk to me. But when it comes to hanging out, let's go there and there, I'm not that guy. Like people would always prefer to go around with. But when it comes to me being on stage, when it comes to me with this mic and the music on, I just zone into that. And that's one thing that I know that Iona gift to do. And I don't think about it. I don't realize certain things that I do when I'm doing them. But I know after that people have something to talk about me. And that's one thing that I know I will always appreciate when I'm doing music, and about how people react and respond to what I'm doing. Because I know what we do, people don't understand this, and it takes a lot to write a song. It takes a lot to listen to give yourself like you put on your time. We put money in now because you have to recording it. We go to places because you want to perform. Sometimes we don't. There are times whereby I've begged like promoters like, hey, give me 10, man, give me 5. Let me just do one song. Until I do that one song. And that's the only way that I can convince you what I'm good at. So it's not even about how you're looking at me when you see me like, hey, I'm not those guys.
Yeah.
Even when it comes to event, I never like look down on any artist when I go to events, because you don't know what the other person has, which is what might not be visible at that time. But when they're on stage, it's different. So abantu don't understand that siphiwe izinto ezohlukeneyo. As much as we're on the same circle, I need you as much as you need me.
Dog.
But abantu abaninzi, they misunderstand that with you approaching or me approaching you, it makes you feel like you are the most important thing on this. Kandi, I'm approaching you because I see something in you. It does not mean that ignore what I have in me. And I'm not comparing that with you, ane? But for the mere fact that we're on the same circle, we're running on the same circle, so too, there's something that you don't have that you have, man. And there's something now on you that I don't have.
Yeah.
And we only need to work together to get those out. It's not even about mhlambe imali okanye mhlambe uphumelele. I don't know, but I just know enough that sonke sinikwe izinto that ezingafaniyo at some point. So ungayitsho ngebase nditsho ngetena, but ayizothi bana ubhetere kunami. But you know, most of the time gay artists needs they get to compare us. Likes zams more than his ban. Views zams more than his ban. Then they think that I'm the truth and no one else is.
And you know, we're not doing this for likes or for views.
Yeah. So that's the thing. So I think that's the reason why again, on most places I would be there, but you will only I realize I'm there when I'm on stage. After I'm done, I'll start talking to people in jail, and then maybe I'll leave after that. But it does not mean kind of. And the most thing that we want to do is to be remembered. So the only time that you want to be remembered is doing what you're exactly supposed to be doing. And even if one other time that you were good at it, but we will see it. There will be a time in a day that people will start thinking, "Bah man, why are
yeah."
Because you had an impact.
Yeah. So your music speaks a lot about insokolo and stuff. Is that something
life.
that
I always
you
put life in there? Yeah.
Is that something that you experience firsthand?
I would say. Okay, sorry. I would say the andikhulanga lola fethu. And I think that's one of the reasons why I appreciate everything that I can get.
Yeah.
When I wake up in the morning, I'm able to, I'm able to do this and that. I'm able to,
to have a proper breakfast.
So people don't understand those small things and how far they go. My dad was not working when I moved in with him. And then there was a time that he was not okay, as in Gembilo. So even if we are shopping, there are times whereby he'll be like, "Look, Joganzai shopping, Nanzi can be 30 rand. If I'm young and I'm challenged, that means I didn't get anything. So I'll be back maybe probably after 2 days. So if time I am buying or going for buy him kusasa, and then Zalala ndetwendlini ingabuyi mhlawumbe ngolwesibini. Be man akana ne phone ke nomjita. Mhlawumbe ngolwesine then he pops up. Sometimes I figure ningekho esesikolweni. But I will only see, but okay, we figure mhlawumbe bona nanzi 100 rand power, okay, cool. So that means I need to get myself something. But in all those years, I will tell you this, but it's only 1 or 2 teachers that knew bana anhlana mama, because always proper. Yeah, I'm at school every day, and I appreciated all the small stuff that we were given in school, like umzali ration in Dondon, because I knew banendlini there's a chance if I couldn't see there, but so I need to be there. And I was one of those kids school because I knew by from I might not get much. Even now, I know if I don't wake up and go and get it, someone else is gonna get it, and I bandim because bandipi the boy TV I don't know whatever. So if you to umdala and bana you wanna do things or you wanna get to your indoors background, you need to do something about it. Because sometimes it's not even about talent, but being there at that time and no one else is there. They want to take you because no one else is here. So chances. And if you miss that out, because I can't, no, all those excuses, someone else have them. But when I open to make sure it's not a lack.
This time.
Yeah. So on my album, it's more based on life and how I lived and how I started with Awesome Ngolo. There are songs that I'm in pain. There are songs that I'm happy. There are songs that I'm just speaking about life in general, because it's not even about because we're doing this for people. So sometimes I'll take your situation and then I'll match it with mine. Yeah. So also there's Komjidama Lozoko. So I always say L, but well, I think it's 3 years now this year. So I wahlatywa apha eSoweto, and was awuhlatywa London. They had a fight over an empty glass, Bayikuse glass family. And uhlatywa yintwana encinci ehlala kalapha eRhini. But I'm just saying, sometimes we take those and then we go through the motion, then you start, okay, cool, you know what now? Because on my music, I find healing at the same time. Then you start putting shit down. Then as soon as you do that, and you start being friendly with that situation, then you start, learning from it and making sure that someone else on the other side gets it too. Because, okay, so on the lyrics of the song, I even say, this is love, this is the hate, this is good, fighting with evil. So I'm trying to save my soul. So at the end of the days, as much as we can take decisions because we are angry, we are mad about something, at the end of the days, you want to be saved too.
Ooh.
So you can't be going around pointing, and saying this is right, this is wrong. You can have your opinion, but sometimes you need to understand the other party too is the same as you, and we want the same world. And the only way to basiphilisana kakuhle is to understand at the same time. I'm not saying people are right, but sometimes it's not for us. Sometimes I just keep quiet on certain conversations, and there was TikTok because I feel like your opinion I'm here might not really, So when I'm with music, like that's the only time that I can be honest about stuff. Like, okay, cool, no, let me just say, yo. Yeah, so umculo wami has that, like my whole album has those kind of things, like inyani pana if uyayifuna. I know, okay, like most people when it comes to if amachera no mamela, like the stuff that we listen to, they will get the messages and things that we say, because inyani most of the time is over there. Not just how we speak, but also how to understand us from where we're from. Like, if you want to understand me, get my music and you understand me better.
Yeah, I think so too. Because now, like, I started to getting to know you when I listened to the album. And I was like, okay, you know what? Let me listen to this. So when Tau City, okay, now I have made it. Like, tell me, Uzabunda, like, because I'm trying to get what you wanna achieve with this music thing. So I wanna know, like, when you get to a certain place, this is where Onoti, I made it, Mama.
And people were, like, it was trending, and
thank you very much.
It was trending,
So yeah, when is iphupha lizabe lindawoni xa unothi bakhe.
I've made it.
Yeah.
It might not be music.
Yes.
For me to say I've made it. Okay, I made it. Wow, sounds big. For me to say in the Pumelele, it's when I've made sure that my next generation is safe. Which is, we're not doing it for us anymore, man. We got kids now. We got people that look up to us. We got brothers and sisters. The only time that I can say in the Pumelele I've made it, I made it. Hey, dog, I'm here now. It's only when I know that I've secured that future, that my little brother doesn't go through the same patches that I went through, same struggle that I went through. And when I can say, hey, you know what? After this conversation, love child, my son's social angel was sick and I can afford it, then I know I made it. When I can say, hey, you know what? Today I don't feel like going to work. Let me just go and do a little shopping. I know I made it. So we need those, they can, and I don't know where I was seeing this, but as Amanda, as like as abantu bamnyama, and if people like Tina, we might confuse it with having imali, ane?
But it's not.
But it just needs us to be on a relaxed mode and be happy about, being who we are.
And be at peace.
Yes.
And understand that we are great.
So we cannot say while we have like certain kind of stresses that we're not supposed to walk around with. Yo. So as soon as I can afford to get those and be able to say, hey, today I think I should go and get that new ball or whatever. Then let me just go and look for it because I can afford it. Because umoya mota I can do it and I know I can. Because now the most is stress. It's not like we don't know how to handle shit, but we don't have means to. Yeah. And then you hear people being excited about mhlambi but on the next 3 years was because they're not happy with the stuff that they're dealing with. Sometimes they're not happy with their lives already. So it's not even about money, it's about being at peace with myself and being at peace with my family too.
Yeah.
So yeah. And it's a cool affair. It's a cool.
Last and final question. Has there ever been a time where you felt like you needed to prove to yourself that this is your thing?
Come again.
Has there ever been a time? Focus, G. Focus. Has there ever been a time where you felt like you needed to prove to yourself that music is your thing?
Like I had to prove it to people.
No, to yourself.
To myself.
To yourself. I have stories for days. Like one that comes up in Ngoku is when I went to Afro Cafe.
Yeah.
Afro Cafe, I received a DM on Instagram. I barely receive DMs on Instagram.
Yeah.
So I received a DM on Instagram. This guy's like, yo, Afro Cafe funa newcomers, gatin. And I was like, these people, chances are, they already know who they're
what
gonna
they want.
take.
Yeah, I know that was
just
kind of
story.
like,
but I respect when people send me stuff from that bayo John Kuko applications and funding.
You barely get those, man.
Dog.
Like I know, but just suggest like say and on time.
You
get it late most of the time.
So when people send me those stuff, I respect them more than me wanting to get to whatever that I'm applying for. So I was like, okay. And then I sent this video. AI tattooing a phone. Like this person was live on Facebook wake. And this orbits jam session, and I was jamming. It was me and my guitar with this other guy edlala drums that who just joined me. So this video and that tumela like a 1 minute clip. Green but
it was just clear but
the sound and the people like hearing me and Nambo voice was on top. So I was like, okay, cool, let me send this datumela lewe datumela nebhayo and then dahlala iveki. So at that time kwaku tough financially, and tough financially. This guy dafumana a phone call, 011, like, hey, probably those, not even that, it's probably those insurance things and whatnot. But ring. I was like, pendulum. Phone and I didn't say anything. And this guy was like, hello. And I was like, oh, okay, hi. And then he was like, hi, can I please speak to Uvisek? And then I was like, you speaking to her? I was like, yo, I'm Joe from Afro Cafe. I'm like, you Joe? You who? From where? And then it's like, understand? So it's like, no, the thing is, we saw your email, so this is how this is going to go. I'm going to send you an email contract and stuff. And Payana again. Abakhwelisi,
you don't do
anything. You just go there. And like people babona iglam TV and probably think you understand. And then I was like, like I didn't even have R5 yet data.
I fade.
Like kwaku blind.
But that's when we feel like Tickle shows up, man. Those
dog. So this guy watuzongithumelela email, and now I have to didiza i-5 rand for ndithenge i-data ezi-50 megabytes
ikwazi for
so yeah, thenga le data nqoma ndanyanda ndafumana i-email, and then ndathumela the other stuff that athe uyazifuna, yabo. And then uzithumela kwam ke ngoku, and I'm like, yo, how am I gonna get to a Joburg?
Yeah.
The accommodation was not a problem because I was seeing this other girl that stayed that stays in Joburg, and so accommodation, I'm fine, but it's me going there.
And it's not an easy. I call up the next.
That didiza, and ndafika phayana ndihamba ngesuitcase ngebag enkulu nandinebag. Yeah, ndafika pha ndiphethe ibag engaka ndibethe nexa nekatari yam, and I killed it. Mamela dog, I killed it. And the whole process, like, I don't know, there's something about me, about the processes where I'd enjoy and learn a lot from the process, and then when I get to actually the deliverance, I'd feel like, okay, it
was a build up.
It was there, but now, but it if bangabana I didn't have to go through yonke process, it was not gonna feel the same. And so
that's the fun part about struggle.
And that instant is one of the instances where I always say to myself, you know what? Throughout that process, I proved to myself, look, music is my thing. Like, that perform at Africa Cafe, and when I went out, ndafika ku production room, kuyaculwa, ndifuna ukuviwa mna. Like, it was unbelievable. And then later, like, I think, it was last year. And then last year, I got imali from Samro from me playing Africa Cafe, which was like a lot. And last year, last year, so like that instant, that experience, that DM,
made you realize,
that DM, like, that's one of the things in it. You know what? Just by me responding to that DM and sending, I proved to myself, look, this is my thing, man.
For me, I don't know, man, but we all got different stories. For him, I think it was when I went into Peak at Talent 2016, 2016, I think 2015, 16. But I think the most thing that made me realize, I had to do it. Like, I had to make sure because what happened is the situation and the way people look at you and the way other people look at you. We had so the last performance I did, I think down not survey, man. I forgot the name now. Okay, anyway, what happened was when I was not called for finals. So you can imagine, like, okay, so we're done. Until I got a call during the week. But I say, someone stood up, I said, I understand why you were not on the list. Because according to the judges, you were supposed to be on the list. So, someone is making sure that your name is there. And you are going to perform for the finals, which is Peak at Talent.
Ooh.
I won't lie, man. You know, sometimes you would say, I fight Pelil, like you. But it does not necessarily mean that it is over. I think that's when I started to believe, it's not even about sometimes but also the other people, how they look at you. It might not be a good way, some might not be a bad way. So, for him now was okay, whatever that I had to make sure to go to the next. But for some reason, certain people didn't feel like I was supposed to go to the next. But the person that knew and saw something stood up like, hey. So, when you're doing it, like for me, and I will tell you this, before I perform, I always zone into my
Yeah.
energy and all that. So I know by now when people are sitting down there, as much as we hear at the moment, and then the only reason why we hear for mhlambi the same reason maybe, but most of us are here because we want to enjoy, we want to chill, we want to do this and that, but it doesn't matter but there'll be a moment whereby we need to share the same energy because we breathe in the same air at one room at that point. So I was like, you know what, I might, because I already thought mandipumile kusho event with competition, I told myself I'll do it just because that person, when they look at me again, they need to say that is the reason, that was a good fight, even if you don't make, but that was, you deserved it. Yeah, well? So for Umna, I think, when you go through those certain like steps in life that's when I got to realize that, hey, you know what, this thing, I might not sometimes feel like doing it.
Yeah,
but it's good for my health at the same time. And it's good for other people too. So even when I got into Ebubeleni, I don't know how many people that were like, hey, because you don't understand. You know what, ne? Sometimes when people are asking you something about hey, love child, what? Like, how did you feel about it? And the time you had to put in, the energy that you, like the hustle that you had to go through to get there.
Yeah.
In such a way that now it makes you feel like, because I think I deserved, because of what I was doing. Of which they were not able to see what you were doing, what you are doing. Because sometimes see nabantu that don't really pay attention to us, but they will pay attention to abantu abangapha. Yeah. Now someone expects you, it excites them that you are named with the people that respect.
Yeah.
But now when it doesn't surprise you, because you know why your name is mentioned there with those people. It's me, man.
Yeah.
Like sometimes I just can't take it.
Yeah.
I understand.
Yeah. No, man.
So for him now, I just knew that this was the time to prove that I'm good for this, even if some people didn't see me the same way, man. And for myself, I had to just be good, and appreciate, and we give love. And sometimes it doesn't mean that if we don't respond, we shouldn't still give. Sometimes we give and we don't receive, But it doesn't mean that we should stop giving. So that's just how I am.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sawthetha kude kubuye uyezi.
I know. You need to relax.
Thank you so much for honoring this. I know, the weather today could have messed us up. Yeah, thank you for honoring this. It's still gonna be great. You're still gonna do more amazing things.
We'll like I believe that we got little stuff coming. Yeah, I don't want to get into my bag now, but yeah.
I care. Whenever you need me, the con. So, beautiful people, this is the 10th episode. It's the last episode for the year. Number 10, it's
saving the best for the
it's double grace. But to number 5, it's the number of grace, and then number 10, it's double grace. So
and then my birthday is this month too, so yeah, on the 12th.
Happy birthday in advance, on the 12th. December. I know. Yeah, man.
It's been a good run,
And
it's been a good run.
That's good.
Also, I'm grateful for being part of Ekhaya festival. Yeah, I was super late, man. I was cooking right there,
I'm glad.
Yeah, I was cooking right there. So it was good energy, man. I promise you, like, the most thing that I appreciate about being around events and people, it's the energy. Might not be, also want to say this, I feel like sometimes we need to work on something that will make people understand. When you talk about events, especially the local events, it's not an excuse. And it's not supposed to be an excuse, Novana. You can't go to a certain event because I was about drinks while you on the event. No, I'm just saying this because I felt like there are people that I've spoke with like hey, I could have been there, bro, because but and I was like and then I wouldn't have much to chill. It's not about that,
It's
man.
not about
the energy is there.
Yeah.
What we need is that, and people don't
Yeah.
understand that.
And look, we'll keep on doing these things until people
people get it,
understand.
Until
Yeah,
people get
because
it,
I think Ekhaya Festival also catered for you could bring iskaftin sako and the oros yakho and
I wanted
just
to
chill
bring
there.
my daughter there. You know that it was on the 28th, and my daughter's birthday was on the 27th. So,
Platinum
yeah.
G working on 29.
Yeah, ne?
Yeah, man.
So yeah,
Yeah.
yeesh.
Let's wrap this up.
So it's like I have a lot to say.
Yo. Yes, we are boy. This is this is the 10th episode. It's the final episode for this year.
21.
So guys, please be safe, be kind to each other. Niziphathe kahle manonwabe. Niselechinja yasekhaya. And thank you so much for loving us. Thank you for being patient with all of that enzamuyenza.
Any signs while you talk?
No. Thank you so much.
Unongala ngasemlanjeni